You're listening to musician, author, and educator Bobby Borg, breaking down music, business, and marketing basics so they stick.
Hey, you guys, my name is Bobby Borg, and welcome to USC's DIY Podcast Studio. And my topic for discussion today is music rehearsal tips. And for those of you guys that do not know me, I'm a former major label independent and DIY recording and touring artist, an author of a number of music, business, and marketing books, and an adjunct professor and consultant too. So you guys, right, you are a solo artist and you have a band and you need to rehearse for a show. You are a band, a partnership, and you need to rehearse for the tour, right? We all have to rehearse at some point, and all of us know that sometimes rehearsals can be either very efficient or they can be a complete nightmare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer a number of tips to make sure that your rehearsals are extremely productive. Be sure to hang out and check out these tips. Let's get started. So there are a number of different ways that you can rehearse, obviously. If you're rehearsing with a full band, then, you can rent a house and you can rehearse in the cellar. This is something that I do with my groups. We rented a house, we had everything laid out in the cellar. It was perfect because our neighbors were really cool. We had woods in the back, we had a park next door, and we had, I think, a lady that was deaf across the street. So worked out really nicely. But this isn't always the case, which means that sometimes you'll need to go out and you'll need to find a rehearsal building or studio. So literally there are buildings with tons of rehearsal rooms, and you kind of rent your little cube and you kind of throw your drums in there and your guitars in there and you keep it there. It's called a lockout, so that you can go in there 24/7 and rehearse. All right, so that could be another option. Of course, another thing that you can think of as well is maybe whether or not you really need to be rehearsing as a band with your amps cranked to 11. Maybe you can do an acoustic rehearsal, where you have acoustic guitars and the drummers maybe just like playing, bongos, or maybe playing with brushes or slapsticks or something like that. Oftentimes that's a cool way to rehearse as well, which would basically mean that you don't really need to go out and get the big room and the lockout, or rent the house or that type of thing. So, you kind of have to think about exactly, how you're going to rehearse, and then think about the different ways that you can go about doing that. But of course, the first step to effective rehearsals is having a consistent place where you can go, and where you can go without a hassle, and you can be creative. All right, so very, very important. All right, the next step really is having some sort of consistent schedule. Isn't it a pain? Have you ever worked a job before where you never know where you're going to work, and they just call you up and they go, hey, you want to do a shift? It's just sort of so haphazard. It's kind of hard to get into kind of a groove. In every group that I was in, we made it like a schedule. We made it like a job. Like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, we rehearse, and we had specific times laid out, and you just put that into your life like it was going to a class or was going to a job. I think this really helps everybody to organize their life as well, and kind of leads to consistency and efficiency as well, because everybody can work everything else around that schedule, and it's not like you constantly have to oh, can you make it? Oh, he can make it, but he can't make it, or she can make it, but she, that's a pain in the butt. So treat this like a job and make sure to schedule a very specific time each week when you guys are going to be meeting. And that, by the way, frequency, some people don't, listen, we rehearsed every single week, Now I know sometimes you need to take a break, but I'm surprised always when I hear about people that they just kind of rehearse the night before a show, and it's only one rehearsal. So, depends on the level you want to get, but I always took this very serious. I took it like a job, so something to think about. Rehearsing before the rehearsal. Wow, how about that? You know, how frustrating is it when you show up to a rehearsal and you're ready to run the songs and now you got to sit down and show the chords to the guitar player? I mean, that is really, really a pain in the butt. Everybody needs to sit at home and learn the work and then come in and then, you know, just kind of get right to business. I mean, can you imagine a marketing meeting in a professional corporation where everybody should be reviewing the files or the budgets or the financial, and then basically everyone comes in and goes, all right, you guys, so what's this folder and what does this say and where's the income statement? And everybody is just shuffling around stuff. Can you imagine how long and unproductive the meetings are going to be? You should come in there ready to rehearse. So rehearse before the rehearsal. Time management, my friends, time management. Don't show up late. It's disrespectful and it's a complete pain in the butt. And let's just say, for example, you are renting a rehearsal room by the hour. I mean, you know, it's like you're paying $40, let's just say, for an hour rehearsal room. So then what? You're going to show up late and you already killed 20 minutes? That's uncool, right? No, what you do is you actually show up 20 minutes before and you set up your full drum kit, for example, outside. So when the other band comes out, you wheel yours in and you're ready to rock and roll within about 5 minutes or so. So definitely make sure to show up on time. It's disrespectful. You got to think of this as a business. Yeah, there's traffic in LA. Yeah, there's traffic in New York. Yeah, there's traffic in Nashville. So you know what? You plan ahead and leave 20 minutes before you normally would leave, all right? But I think it's just, it's only common courtesy to everybody else. Show up on time. Don't be late. Lots of people will be able to relate to this one. No noodling. You know what noodling is? Noodling is when you're trying to talk about something and the guitar player's over there going, or the drummer's going, you know, it's that nervous kind of twitch where like you just want to keep on playing. So, you know, in between songs, you know, you have to discuss stuff. Hey, you slow down, or hey, you were playing behind the beat, you know, push it a little bit before the chorus, you know, that kind of thing. Anticipate the last 16th note of that beat, and you know, and you know, etc. You know, right? But then the guy in the background over here is going, and you can't even focus and concentrate. So that's called noodling. So like, try to get your hands off your gear, turn down the volume knob or something, and pay attention. I mean, it's very, very hard, but everybody can relate to this. You guys know what I'm talking about. No noodling. Noodling can be a complete pain in the butt. So no noodling. Rehearse with a click, right? Because keep in mind, I mean, when you're on stage, especially drummers, man, they're like racehorses, right? They want to take off. Well, not all drummers, but certainly me. I was on fire. I wanted to push things. So if you rehearse with a click and maybe even rehearse slower, when it comes to the stage where you're a little bit more excited, now, you know, you're going to be more controlled. A lot of people these days are even playing with clicks on stage because they have to. They have to trigger things, right? But in any case, rehearse with a click. It will make the group tighter. It will make the group more together. It will keep things relaxed. It will keep things, on tempo, because certainly you don't want to go out there and end up playing the songs twice as fast live. So if anything, again, rehearse, you know, a little bit slower in your studio, but figure out some sort of system where you can rehearse with a click. You'll be glad you did. So essentially, you guys, we've been talking about music rehearsal tips, and I gave you guys a bunch of information that hopefully you'll use. I want to let you guys know that these tips are available in my book, Business Basics for Musicians, in its 2nd edition. It's got the orange cover, so I hope you'll check that out. Peace. Thanks, you guys, for watching.